Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning to our department head, our dean, and of course, Sir Julius. Good morning, and of course, our dear panelists and our committed and excited students to present their thesis or with regards to the qualitative research. To start with, I would like to ask somebody to start with our opening prayer from the group.
Sige, ako na po.
Yes, Miss Samantha.
Okay. So, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. As we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I would like to acknowledge our dear panelists. We have Dr. Maria Victoria Rosas, the Dean of the College of Business Management and Accountancy, and our external panelist, Dr. Edisur de la Santa from the University of the Philippines Asian Institute of Tourism. Good morning, everyone. And students, if you are ready to present your pre-recorded video, you can present now. Thank you so much.
Good day to our dear professors and to our panelists. Let me present to you our team. I am Samantha Corame, the team leader of this research, to be followed by Moira Cabal, Trisha Macapagal, Kathleen Sabado, and Jerry Santa Romana. Our research advisor is Mr. Alden Tolentino. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to the Diplomat Hotel, Teachers Camp, or even abandoned locations in Baguio? These locations are known as gloomy tourism attractions because they have seen sufferings, deaths, and killings, or they are just historical sites where our Ninunos formerly resided. We were obviously concerned when we learned from folks who live nearby or learned from or on social media that the location we were going to was being sought. Filipino standard lines include that I will quote in Tagalog, "Huwag ka pupunta dyan, baka may multo dyan," or "Ingat ka dyan, baka mabati ka." However, we continue to visit the location and instead shoot photographs and make films. Those who desire adventure are well known in television and films. Who are desired anything to frighten others or perhaps converse with the dead in order to connect with them, or in the most common situation, simply for entertainment. That is why we conducted this research titled A Qualitative Research about the Understanding the Deeper Side of Dark Tourism and Why Tourists Are Fascinated to Tragedies and Deaths in the Lateral White House. So for our background of the study, dark tourism, sometimes called as grief tourism or thanatourism, is a type of tourism that is associated with historical deaths, tragedies, and sufferings. Dark tourism is unquestionably on the rise in today's generation. The terrible past of a certain location, such as deaths and killings, entices more people to visit a particular tourism site. When travelers hear the phrase dark tourism, the first thing that springs to mind is a desire to visit somewhere frightening or unsettling. According to Professor Wilson Delig, it's not unexpected that Filipinos are driven to barren locations because we grew up hearing mythology, folklore, and horrific stories. Thus, we have a predisposition to believe in dark horror stories, who came from our ancestors by word of mouth. According to Maria Tumarkin, author of Axiomatic, She stated that while there is a distinction between tourism and visiting a location to show respect, the goals sometimes overlap. People have an instinctive need to physically mark and assemble at locations of sorrow out of respect. Next is
the study's primary goal is to examine why are tourists so fascinated by historical sufferings, killings, and tragedies destination. Having this said, researchers also wanted to establish a dark tourism site importance, particularly the Lateral White House, since its reputation matters. Then you can see the following supporting question on your screen.
That is for the purpose of the study. So the purpose of the studies are not focusing on one particular aspect. Instead, targeting the three factors in order to have a better relationship of the dark tourism. And in addition, the visitors' attitude in the specific site. So next. For the significance of the study. So like what I said, we are targeting three factors in the study. So first is both international and domestic tourism. So this research could provide a much higher awareness with regards of the meaning of the dark tourism to tourists, both local and international. So by the result of having a proper awareness, it could decrease stalking action while visiting the specific. So next is for the student of tourism or the tourism student. This research will provide enough knowledge for the student on what the real meaning of dark tourism and having enough information from the specific place. And the knowledge is one of the important things that tourism student may have. And lastly, is the society. Now, society is playing a huge role in it could be tourism or the other way around. So the connection of this research is that society can assist people in order to help or in order to become more aware when it comes to the behavior.
so for the scope and limitations, our scope is the study circulates people's fascination with the dark tourism sites pertaining towards the Laperal White House in Benguet, Baguio City. This research is done generally by interviewing the locals living nearby, the caretaker itself, together with the target customer, which are the tourists. This study is focused on the Laperal White House, its story, the image, and the structure, then the things that influence people to visit the particular place. For our limitation, firstly, the respondents might share some information that is confidential about the dark side of history that can be sensitive to some of our readers. Second, some respondents may not be prepared to answer the questions, so target respondents will be limited to visitors who are knowledgeable of the historical events and clearly comprehend the offered questions. Third, this research will not extend to the motivation and deterrent of an individual going to the tourism destination. This study does not cover other dark tourism destinations, merely the Lateral White House alone.
The investigators has made an earnest effort to find out different literatures and studies related to the topic under investigation, concluded by the various researchers and scholars. The researchers prepared seven variables, including dark tourism today, a deeper insight, emotional facet together with safe and security. Tourists visit dark tourism destinations for a wide variety of reasons. Media influence, the Lateral White House, and the paranormal investigation. This chapter also includes the theoretical and conceptual framework to fully understand the research to be done.
So for our theoretical framework, we have self-congruity theory by Boxberger P. Dolniker for the year 2011. So first, let me define what is self-congruity. So self-congruity is defined as the match between a brand image and an individual self-concept. And for the basic meaning, it is a self-image and influence. So for example, on Lateral White House,
People are going to that house, it's because first they are fond of the ghost stories with their own personal interest. Therefore, it is necessary to further analyze that phenomenon of tourist behavior because there are some tourists that are fond of the ghost stories and the paranormal activities that have been told about certain sites while locals are engaging traveling experiences without knowing the shadow past behind it. So similarly, contradictory results are reported in a related study that examine whether the level of self-belief of different segments of tourists influence their satisfaction with the destination and their intention to visit.
For our conceptual framework. So this will show the relationship of the tourism site and as well for the tourists or the travelers. So first is the behavioral of the tourists when visiting a particular site are considered as part of this conceptual framework. So specifically in the revisit intention side. So this will show the real reason behind visiting an art tourism site, if it's because of the educational purposes or just because of the curiosity of the tourism attraction, and at the same time because of the influence of social media. So second is for the assessment value. It is about having connection to the natural White House with the help of the museum. So third is for the safety and security of tourists is one of the factor of or what is the important to consider and will also involve the locality. So tourism safety and security each will get the spotlight and grab the attention of both supply and the demand side of the industry. So for the last part, which is the learning benefit or to be the output of this concept is that the tourist to gain knowledge can use a tool to spread the information of the a specific site and about the histories of the site, and not only about the enjoyment of the tourists can achieve in visiting the site, at the same time, information that we carry throughout the whole journey.
So for our methodology, for our research design, we use descriptive qualitative, and for our research, we use the method qualitative research. The reason why we chose descriptive qualitative design is because this study makes use of qualitative research by using descriptive qualitative as our design in order to describe its phenomenon and its characteristics. The goal of this descriptive research is to describe characteristics, provide more in-depth examination, and involve naturalistic data according to Nasaji 2015. This often involves an inductive exploration of the data to identify recurring themes, patterns, or concepts, and then describing and interpreting those categories.
Next is for the participant. So for the participant of the study, we researcher want to cover those respondents who are really interested to visit the Laboral White House. Then with that, the researcher pulled down for the tourist student. Student middle age can be a resident, and the total number of respondents is the total of 10. And with regards of the non-probability, we researcher chose it because of the selection of the respondent that use are non-random ways to select a group of people to participate in this research. In the other words, not all members of the population um, can have a chance to participate in this study. So as I discussed earlier, the respondent that we use or that we chose are not random ways. So researcher pulled down to purposive sampling. So the reason behind that is because we chose our respondent based on what the research or the researcher need to accommodate. So the research are choosing this study because of their next.
Okay, so the study will be conducted at the Natural White House and its surrounding environment, an underrated dark tourism destination and museum, which is an ice notcher along Leonard Wood Road in Baguio City. It is a towering house painted white all over.
data collection instrument, the purpose of the interview is to understand why people are attracted by the tragedy and suffering in the Lateral White House in Paris. Researchers believe that a person is not able to produce a good study if he or she didn't investigate personally or the so-called hand-in-hand. The research instrument used by the investigator is the face-to-face direct interview. There are also some forms of sub-questions that can be asked on the respondents to have a stronger foundation of data. The questionnaire itself is highly validated by the designated analyst before distributing to the respondents to avoid plagiarism and promote validity and relation. The researchers will include leading persons which have sufficient knowledge about social conditions or had been intimate contact with the subject over the considerable time. The instrument that was used was double-checked in case of misplaced and misquestion so as to avoid gap in the information needed for the study. And for the
Sam,
data gathering analysis procedure,
excuse me, Sam. Okay, for the pleasure of the panel, may we proceed as per Doc Dudes to our Q&A na po. Dear panel, please, may we?
Okay, guys, thank you so much on your presentation. By the way, all of you are in the cloud, members of the group. How about Miss Abal or Akabal?
Yes, sadly, she's not here po because
Hmm?
wala po ata. Hello?
Hello
Hello?
po. Yes.
Sadly, she's not here po because she don't have any internet connection and they have no electricity po.
Only Miss Akabal is not around, no? But the
Yes po.
rest, okay. Yeah, maybe we can ask our panelists if you have any additional info in the improvement on the output of our students. Yes, ma'am. Victoria, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First and foremost, I would like to ask the group, what is your definition of dark tourism? What is your definition of dark tourism? Anyone from the group can answer. Hello? Can you hear me? Rinig ba ako, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay.
clear. Yeah,
Okay.
guys, probably you can answer.
for me
What is your understanding about dark tourism?
for me, ma'am, dark tourism directed to place that are identified with death and suffering.
So if it is relate it has a relationship with deaths, wars, etc. I think that was the definition given. May I also add that wait, dark tourism actually is a special interest tourism that attracts tourists visiting like cemetery or morbid related type tourism. So yung mga like hanging coffin, I think you know that in Baguio, 'di ba? Meron 'yan. Some sites, I think yung mga historical cemeteries that usually being visited by some people. Now, my question is, how would you relate the Lateral White Horse or White House to be part of dark tourism? Why did you choose Lateral White House? You're muted, Miss Sabado. Sabado. Go ahead, Miss Sabado.
Yes, ma'am. So, why did we choose the Lateral White House po? Okay, so ma'am, during our collaboration of ideas, as we are looking for a place to focus on, of course, by the use of Google platform, we search for different dark tourism destinations, and the Laperal White House is not immediately pop out. Basically po, it's not included in the list of most seen places. It's not uncommon, it's not unusual for the tourist po. So we decided, as a group po, we decided to focus our study to it to be more knowledgeable towards the uncommon and unheard destination. That's why we decided po to choose the Laperal White House in Benguet, Baguio, ma'am.
Okay. So, did you introduce that as part of your, discussion for the introduction? I think you focus more on the dark tourism in general, but I think in the latter part, you need to discuss why La Peral White House is considered as one of the dark tourism destination. Kasi that is important. How would you classify La Peral White uh, House? Is it uh, under the type of cemetery tourist sites, or is it burial grounds tourist site? What classification do you think would be considered for Laperal White House? Or is it because some people who visited Laperal inform you na maraming multo, maraming lumalabas? What is the objective of choosing Laperal White House aside from the fact that it did not pop out in the list of dark tourism sites? Bakit yun ang pinili nyo? Kahit although hindi siya lumabas, but what is the main reason? Kasi I just would like to know why did you choose Laperal White House as the subject of your paper?
Aside, good morning po. So aside from the history of Laperal White House and the couple who lived there, and also after the World War era, we also are attracted by the infrastructure, the image, and the structure of the house itself po.
So if it is about the structure, how would you relate it with dark tourism? Because as I've said, dark tourism is a special type of tourism where the interest or focus is more on the burial ground, cemetery, yung mga haunted house. Those are actually the coverage of dark tourism, right? Because your title is understanding deeper about dark tourism on La Peral White House. And honestly speaking, there are very few studies made on dark tourism. That's why I'm interested with your study because this is a good paper for your. I commend the group for coming up with this type of research because there are really very few studies, even in the masteral or doctoral level, very few. And that's why I would like you to be guided properly so that you will come out with the best, a good result to think that this is a qualitative paper. And for your information, one of my advisors in the doctoral program did this type of study about the push and pull factors pertaining to dark tourism. Kaya medyo may idea ako about dark tourism. And I would like to ask sana, why Laperal White House? What made this? Not only kasi pag structure, so iba na tayo doon, yung aesthetic na ang pinag-uusapan natin. So may I know kung ano ang meron sa Laperal White House? Is it only the aesthetic or something that it was built because or something happened in Laperal White House?
Okay. So a little bit background. I'm sorry. So a little bit background about Laperal, why we chose Laperal po. It's because the history and the structure, as I've said. So the structure of the house was made in Yakal and Nara po, and the whole house itself is house made in Victorian. So the purpose of building of the house po is to become their own vacation house when the couple Mr. Roberto and Doña Victorina Vic, So during World War II, the house was used as a camp of the Japanese soldiers po. And that is how the story starts on Japanese-made Filipinos suffered po, such as torture, rape, and killings. Not only that, but they also,
Inside the Lateral White
yes,
House. So it
yes,
happened. So those are actually the some of the stories given to you that the place was used as parang dungeon for some Filipinos during the Second World War. So kumbaga parang ala intramuros, maraming mga stories that came out regarding that Lateral White House. So yun yung issue doon. Kaya you consider it as dark tourism. Okay. Yes, Miss Coramen, is that what you mean?
yes po.
Okay. Do you want to add, Miss Makapagal, because you're raising your hand late a while ago?
Yes, ma'am. So in addition po that we choose Lateral White House because of the difference, because Lateral White House also have a mini museum at the ground floor of the house. So the Lateral White House are now owned by Mr. Lucio Tand. So the Gallery of the Bamboo Craft aim to increase awareness with regards of the importance of bamboo and the preservation of the art and culture of the Cordilleras po.
Thank you, Miss Makapagal. So, first, may I suggest that you discuss first the general information about dark tourism in general, and then later, you may mention ni Ms. Coramin is that's very, very important for your qualitative research to know more about the Laperal White House. So, since your study is qualitative, you really need to introduce the main topic of your paper, particularly focusing on dark tourism, despite that there are very few studies about dark tourism. Then may also include that there are a lot of for those studies made in 2014 pertaining to dark tourism. Maybe you can use our e-learning resources journal to gather data pertaining to dark tourism done in other countries. So, pwedeng para ma-reach yung literature nyo, so you can use the foreign literature or studies to add up in the related literature. And another, if I may suggest, that instead of writing the statement of the problem, when you use qualitative, it should be in an objective format. That's the reason why quali is different from quanti. So instead of presenting the statement of the problem, convert it into objective type. Halimbawa, to know the why Laperal White House is considered as dark tourism. So maybe you can review again your statement of the problem, convert it into objective format. And then in the significance, may I continue, Madam Chair?
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Vicky. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc Beth. For the significance of the study, please do add not only the students, but of course the tourists. Tourists going to Laperal should be part of the significance of the study. Then future researchers, those who would like also to go into dark tourism, you can include that kasi nga sabi ko nga sa inyo, very few. And then how many are the informants or your participants? Ilan ang participants natin? Hindi yata na-identify although you mentioned the age, 'di ba? So
We identified 10 respondents po with
okay.
9 guided questions. And also po for our significance of the study, we already included local and international tourists po.
Doon sa nabasa ko yata wala yung manuscript. Only students of tourism, yun lang nakita ko. Anyway, if it is included, okay, fine. And then, siguro later, no, after the other panel members already given their comments, maybe we can go back, Doc Beth, with the title. to enhance their title suited to
Yes,
the
yes.
main focus of their paper. So, and another technical comment, when you do research, especially whether it is quali or quanti, always use third person. Do not use first person because it means that you do not want to share your paper. So always use third person. It's one of the major requirements yan in doing research. And then the interview guide, I did not see the interview guide you mentioned in your chapter 3. Meron ba doon o na-miss ko doon sa manuscript?
Nasa Appendix A po sa bandang dulo po.
Okay. Baka na-miss ko yung interview guide. Anyway, so for the meantime, Doc Beth,
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rosas. May I ask Dr. De La Santa if you have any additional comments, sir?
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, mabuti naman po at ako'y naririnig ng malinaw ano po. So
Yeah.
magandang umaga din po sa ating mga estudyante at unang-una ay congratulations for making it this far this semester. Okay po. So meron po akong comments at meron din akong mga questions para sa inyo. Siguro sa pagsasama-samahin ko na yung question at saka comment so unang-una po na notice ko doon sa page 1 basically ay sa referencing at although magbabanggit din ako doon sa referencing sa bandang ibang parts, if you can include references particularly when definitions and claims are involved kasi medyo marami kayong mga binabanggit doon ng definitions and assertions pero wala namang mga references. And please also add or follow standards when citing references. No, for example, add the year and the page numbers for direct quotes. Tapos meron akong isa napansin dito si page 20 nakalagay ang author si Melanie J. Hindi Melanie J yon, ang pangalan niya is si Smith. Ang full name niya is Melanie J. Smith. Pero ang nakalagay sa inyo ay Melanie J. So please just take note para lang correct yung ating mga nire-reference. And then related to referencing and writing in general is proofreading your draft very carefully, taking care to ensure that tenses are correct and words used are also correct. Kasi meron ako napansin dito, merong isang statement, a phrase, the atmospheric part for the tourist. Sa page 21 yon, so parang hindi ko naiintindihan kung ano ibig sabihin ng atmospheric part na yon, And then chapter 3 uses a lot of past tense, no? Pero yung project is still to be carried out in the future. So palitan ninyo yung tense ninyo, kasi hindi pa naman siya natatapos. Now tungkol doon sa research question ninyo, niliwanag na ito ni Ma'am kanina, Ma'am Rosas kanina. Pero nabanggit ko din na nakita ko rin na doon sa sub-questions ninyo, meron pa kayong mga malaking question doon na starts with why and how, So perhaps you can break that down into smaller what questions. And then in addition, there is a different question that is posed in the significance section. Yung how tourists behave ethically. So this is very different from the main objective. So ang isa kong question is, ano ba talaga yung inyong main question? Ano yung inyong main objective in doing the research study? So baka pwede ninyong liwanagin yun ngayong puntong ito. Anyone from the group can answer. Ano yung main objective? Is it investigating how visitors behaved ethically, or is it determining the motivation? Okay. Why people or tourists are fascinated with such attractions?
So our main question po is why are tourists so fascinated by sufferings po and killings?
Okay. So, kung gano'n, then yun na lang ang gamitin niyo yung objective, ano. Tanggalin niyo na siguro yung iba, or kung magde-design kayo ng ibang mga sub-questions, then make it more consistent with that main question. O, tanggalin niyo na siguro yung concern about whether the tourists behave ethically, kasi that's a totally different matter. Okay? And then, sa significance, it really would be good if you can add the theoretical and empirical significance of your study. Si Ma'am Rosas, binanggitan niya kanina na walang masyadong nag-aaral itong dark tourism. So from an empirical point of view, yung study niyo may contribution. But what about the theoretical? Anong konsepto ang inaaral ninyo na uh, maaring makapagdagdag sa understanding natin ng dark tourism, ganyan. Hindi naman kailangan groundbreaking yung concept na yon. Can be a concept that is well known in the literature, pero kailangan nyo lang banggitin dito sa inyong significance of the study. Okay? And then siguro doon sa framework, meron pa akong comments doon sa literature review, pero siguro I will say lang muna yung sa framework na baka pwede ninyong i-describe ng mas maigi pa yung self-congruity na konsepto, no? At i-relate ninyo yun doon sa inyong proposed conceptual framework. Okay? Kasi parang wala akong nakikitang connection. So, maaari siguro nyo ipaliwanag ngayon ano yung connection ng conceptual doon sa self-congruity theory. Kahit na short explanation lang kung meron. And then kung medyo nahihirapan kayong mag-isip sa ngayon, then please think about that during the revision period. Try to make a strong connection between the underlying theory and the conceptual framework. So siguro tingnan nyo lang ano yung mga concepts na related, no, doon sa self-congruity theory na yon, at saka doon sa inyong framework, and then probably that's your opportunity to explain yourself. Okay? And then I'll jump to the ethics muna. Kasi meron kayong ethics section. That's really very good, no, na sinasama niyo yung write-up na yon. Siguro maidagdag ko lang na kapag gagawin nyo na yung research, it's a good idea to add a consent form and an information sheet. No? Kahit na maikli lang na information sheet, to provide some background on the study, and then pagka nabasa na ng mga respondents ninyo yon, then you can ask them to sign the consent form. Ayun. Okay, yun lang po muna. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. De La Santa. Okay, on my part, I would like to reiterate on the comment of Dr. Rosas that she mentioned about the topic itself, because once that we have a clear topic, we have an easy way of doing the coding, the themes, and at the same time, the generating the themes in your chapter 4 and 5. That's why it will be better, Ma'am Rosa, siguro, no, if we can, redirect, okay, your topic on probably on the perception of dark tourism, on the tragedies and even the death on Laperal, okay, so that it should be clear of what will be the variables that it will be included on the question that we can ask, because from there we able to draw out a certain code or theme in your chapter 4. Kasi right now, it is not really directed on the SOP or the questions that you made in your paper, which will be what link, okay, in our topic, na mahihirapan tayo magko-code niyan, okay, in our chapter 4. Kasi you're going to make one by one presentation on the coding and the themes of your paper. Right, Ma'am Rosas?
Yes, yes, I agree, Doc Beth. Tama
Opo.
po, tama.
Opo. That's why probably I would like to ask the group, what are the important variables from your topic that you really want to know from your respondents or from your participants? Ano ba yung mga nakita nating important variables from your topic? Then from there, yan na po yung mga code na gagamitin natin next sem in your in your full blown of your thesis. Then, from the different variables that you have, dun po natin ililink yung mga different questions na kasama dun sa objectives ninyo. Right? Then, pag nag-coding na tayo next sem, ano siya, di ba ang coding naman, respondents, answer, di ba yung mga question, at isa-isay natin yon. And it depends on how many participants do you have. Then from there, we could able to have that coding and the themes and even the reviewing and naming of the themes of our paper. Okay, guys, what are those important variables that we can find in your topic? Anyone? Of course, dark tourism, right? And of course, the one that you mentioned will be the death, okay, or the tragedies, okay, in Laperan. It means yung tatlong yun ang importanteng variables in your paper. Then from there, probably guys, kindly redirect your question since that you are using an interview guide. Siguro, please try to saturate. Anong gusto nating malaman sa dark tourism? Okay, with regards to the perception of our participants. What are the different questions that might be directed in the tragedies at the same time with the death in Lapiran? Then from there, yun na po yun. Then at the end, what will be their total perception of this dark tourism? Para mas madali po guys na mag-coding po tayo. Mas madali siya. Okay? That's why guys, maybe we have to maybe improve, okay, our, later siguro may suggestion si ma'am on the topic itself and of course your guided questions. Kasi automatic pwede na naman siyang direct mong ilagay sa objective yung pinaka-questions na wala ng mga sub. Pwede siya. Okay? We can do that. Pero naka-embed in that particular question lahat ng particular question that you want to know, okay, about the dark tourism, the tragedies, and even the death. Okay, kaya yun, from there, you can create more or less, many questions as long as it will be relevant to your topic. Okay? Yun po. Yes, Ma'am Rosas.
Yes, Doc Beth, I agree. I think they need to really to revisit their statement of the problem. Maybe we can help them now to
Yes.
at least so design the statement of the problem and at the same time relate it with their conceptual framework. Kasi in the conceptual framework, ma'am, they presented a lot of variables which basically not related naman. Tingnan mo doon sa yung minention conceptual. Because remember, conceptual and theoretical should be related. So, pagka dinro natin yon should be the basis now for your SOP. Okay. So, So for your conceptual framework, ayan eh, ang dami nilang nilagay na variables, and yet these are education, tourist intention, tourist satisfaction, but these are not actually reflected in the SOP. Tapos you made mention about price, quality, etc. So maybe we have to design the conceptual framework suited to really a qualitative paper. No, you mentioned nga ni Doc Beth that when you analyze the data gathered from the informants, ang tendency natin is mag-aano ka pa dyan eh, magko-coding, and then you need to combine yung commonalities and differences of the responses. No, pagka nag-ano tayo ng thematic analysis niyan, kailangan kasi talagang very deeper ang ating analysis when it comes to qualitative. Kasi yun yung meat ng paper. So I would suggest, ma'am, and together with Dr. Samantha regarding the, siguro we revisit first the title, if we can rephrase the title, but still on dark tourism and focusing on Laperal White House. So okay lang naman, hindi naman nila totally, it's just that we need to rephrase siguro. Ako, I suggest, if it is okay with Doc Beth and Doc Samantha, on understanding dark tourism, case of Laperal White House. As simple as that. I think they just would like to know the deeper the Laperal White House as part of dark tourist destination, dark tourist site. Okay, okay lang po ba yun, Doc?
Yes, ma'am. On my part, ma'am, it will be simpler the better.
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they can actually use yung sinabi mong variables like tragedies, no, asking the informants regarding those variables mentioned on the, I think in their background or intro ba yun, yung nakalagay why are anong three variables yun.
We have, yes, ma'am. We have the tragedies, the death, and of course
Yes,
the dark
opo.
tourism.
Siguro ang number one is, since that is the main focus of their paper, siguro is the first objective is to know let us rephrase yung SOP nila. Number one is, since it's all about the tragedies mentioned, is, ayun, the first objective is to know the historical sufferings, killings, and tragedies happen, or ano po ba? Okay po ba yun sa inyo? That happen in Laperal White House. Second, ano yung main objective nila after knowing all of this is to determine, tama po ba? To determine the reasons. Ano po ba ang inyong suggestion? Or reasons of visiting the Laperal White House. And then third, to know the ano kaya ang main to know the main factors or reasons, pareho din pala ma'am, no? So dalawa na lang siguro ma'am, kasi this is qualitative. Kasi dun sa first objective nila of knowing the tragedies, etc., napakadami na nilang makukuha yan coming from their respondents or their informants. And then, please take note that do not forget to, yun nga, yung dapat coded yung inyong response. And when you present it is in chapter 4, you do some sort of cross-referencing from the related studies plus the response given by the informants. Kailangan ibangga-bangga nyo yan or i-correlate and then determine the differences and the similarities para it would have a good effect or rather result of the paper. So maganda actually yung study nyo eh. Even yung the second group which is also about dark tourism, pwede silang mag-collaborate eh. actually they can actually exchange their and work together para they can also do some common naman ang gagamitin yung RRL, kaya lang iba yung focus ng isa at iba yung sa inyo. So siguro ma'am yun lang, rephrase yung SOP. Siguro yung they can rephrase using yun naman yung SOP nila, pero ilump na lang nila into at least 2 or 3 SOP para, or rather objectives, since this is actually qualitative. Ayun po. So okay po din daw si Doc sa understanding dark tourism case of Laperal White House. Yun
Yes.
lang. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ma'am V. Thank you so much. Um, do we have additional Doc Editor so that we could able to wrap up? Okay, by the way, thank you so much, Dr. Maria Victoria Rosas, and of course, Dr. Editor de la Santa, and the rest of our researchers. Okay, thank you so much. And probably, maybe we can leave first in the cloud, then we can have our deliberation.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Doc
guys. Yes, sir.
May we tell them na po initially what time they should be back?
At least
At
3
least 10
minutes,
minutes
sir.
po.
3 minutes. By the way, can we have first to have a photo opportunity with our panelists? Maybe
Opo, for
guys,
documentation.
kindly
Ako na
kindly
po.
take picture.
I'll take po. Okay, wait lang.
Okay.
Sam, you
Okay.
may picture na na.
Okay po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we will have our deliberation just in just
I'll
3
be back,
minutes. Okay,
Sam,
thank
after 10 minutes.
Po. Thank you po.
3 minutes po.
Thank you
you.
po.
Okay, thank you po.
Ma'am, Dr. Rosas and Dr. De La Santa, what is your verdict with our first presenter? Okay, and of course, the
So
rating.
far sa akin naman, yes, paper is accepted, no? As I've said, only few studies really into dark tourism. Except that they really have to siguro rephrase the statement of the problem and make it as objective. Tapos ano lang ma'am yung i-focus lang kasi hindi connect yung conceptual with the statement of the problem, so they can do that. And then the rest they need really to add more RRL and do some proper citation kasi talagang kakaunti lang. But this is actually a good paper kasi very few nga yung dark tourism. So far yun lang ma'am. And then yun nga, i-connect lang yung correlate the conceptual with theoretical and then change the SOP into objectives to make it really qualitative. Thank you ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. It means that it will be accepted with minor revision.
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
yes. Thank you, Doc.
Thank
Okay,
you.
how about Sir Editor, on your part po, what will be the rating or the grade that we can give to our first presenter?
Sa ngayon po ay hindi ko pa mababanggit although I found naman the presentation, the write up generally acceptable, no? Kailangan lang talagang gumawa ng mga syempre revisions lalo na doon sa mga nabanggit na ni Ma'am Rosas. Mabanggit ko lang din na missing yung kanilang methods of data analysis. No, walang section na ganon. So binanggit nyo naman po yun kanina kung ano yung gagawin. So perhaps they could just put together all those ideas, all those remarks in a section called methods of data analysis na sa ngayon nga po ay absent. So yun po ang generally acceptable yung output.
Yes.
With revisions.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you
much,
po.
sir. Okay. Sir Julius, we can ask the group to enter again in the cloud.
Okay po, Doc Bet.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, guys, again, good morning. Thank you so much on the presentation, okay, that you had. Okay, and of course, with the verdict and based on the deliberation coming from the panelists, um, anonymously, okay, we decided to give you with the remarks on accepted with minor revision. Okay, that will be within 85 to 95, I think. Then, of course, guys, please try to incorporate all of the comments made by our panelists, specifically on the topic, the objectives, and of course, the way you write your chapter 2. And there are some data that are missing, okay, wherein we have to incorporate, and very important as well, the congruency of your data or of your topic or your data from your topic. Okay, and the good thing also mentioned by Dr. De La Santa, wherein you have to incorporate the consent in the data gathering procedure. Because before we can conduct our of course, our qualitative interview, it is a must that we have to go through with the process of informing our participants on the different protocol that we will conduct during the interview. Thank you so much, guys, and congratulations, everyone. Thank you to our panelists on their expertise in giving ideas on the improvement of your paper. Thank you so much.
Thank
Congrats,
you po.
researchers.
Thank you
Congratulations,
po.
everyone. Okay, we can proceed on our next group.
Yes, Doc. Calling for them po.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning po.
Good morning. Good morning. There are only 4 members in the group, right?
5 po.
Five. Charlene, Miss Fernandez, Tandalore. Okay, of course, we are still waiting Lucero and Agustin.
Doc Bet.
Are we complete, sir?
Yes, Doc Bet. May I do the honor, Doc Bet, of introducing
Yes.
you?
Yes. Thank
Good
you po.
morning, researchers. I would like to introduce to you your panelists for this day. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Lilibet Sabillano will be our panel chair. Together with her and working with her will be our external panelists, Dr. Edicer de la Santa, and one of our internal panelists will be Dean V. Rosas of the CBMA. So researchers, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Um,
Yes po.
Panelists, are we
Yes
going
po.
to proceed with video presentation or shall we proceed straight with the
I
Q&A?
think we can start with the Q&A, sir. Um,
Okay, so with the pleasure of
siguro,
our
sir.
panel, we will proceed immediately with the Q&A portion. Doc Bet?
Yes, sir. Yeah, maybe I can start first, okay, so that our panelists can also take a look, okay, on the different aspects in the paper. Okay, my first question is, what will be the intention of the group? Why you are interested in doing this kind of paper?
Um, we're interested in this paper because we want to educate people that Fort Santiago is considered a dark tourism, since many uh, only visit Fort Santiago merely for the heritage aspect, and also to give light to dark tourism, given that many do not know it exists.
Is there any ideas from the group why we are interested or what will be our intention? Why make us interested in doing this kind of paper? Or specifically your topic itself?
As we all know po, there are many types of tourism, and dark tourism, in our opinion, is one of the most overlooked type of tourism because of its uncommon style. And we think that if we further look into or study this type of tourism, we can for sure improve and open up a lot more opportunity in the tourism industry po.
Okay. And of course, for the reinforcement of my first question, how your topic okay address the different challenges and hurdles of the tourism program?
Can you repeat po the question,
Okay,
ma'am?
just for the reinforcement, okay, question. How your topic address or trash out some of the hurdles or problems that might we encounter in the tourism program or course? Do you think your topic is novel, wherein it will be essential of really getting through or to have an idea, okay, of how we could able to incorporate in our curriculum, in our syllabus, or in the lecture itself? Do you think your topic is new, guys, or it will be interesting?
I think but that our topic will be interesting and definitely new to a lot of people. Because again, dark tourism is overlooked as a form and type of tourism po. And I guess if we again further look into this, we can definitely help to address the problems or errors in the tourism industry po. And we can introduce dark tourism to people that doesn't even know it exists. Ayun po.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Sir De La Santa, Dr. De La Santa, do you have additional comments on our group 2?
Okay, magandang umaga po. So ito pong grupo natin is about dark tourism but this time in Intramuros. Tama ho ba?
Yes po, sir.
So
Yes po.
Um, so doon po sa draft ay may mga nakita po ako doon mga sections na tingin ko ay maaring tanggalin ng grupo ano lalo pa at tingin ko ay inconsistent yung mga parts na yon sa tradition ng qualitative research. Halimbawa po yung hypothesis, meron silang section ng hypothesis, paki-delete po 'yon. Uh, and then yung yung pagkakasulat ng isang parang objective I also associated with parang quantitative research ano yung determining current level of awareness strongly suggests to me a highly quantitative approach kasi parang prevalence ang tinitingnan so baka kailangan ninyong i-revise yun ano um, and then, katulad din ng comment ko doon sa kaninang grupo, maaari sigurong pagtibayin pa yung significance from a theoretical, empirical perspective. So yung sinasabi actually ni Ma'am kanina na parang contribution to the curriculum and to the greater body of knowledge, then that can be discussed in, I think, in that section. Ah, and then sa RRL, merong ah, palagay ko yung yung referencing has to be improved significantly. Please follow standards of referencing. This time I will mention yung mga siguro ilang specific rules, no. Don't confuse yung ampersand with the word and then remove the initials of authors in uh, in your references, no. And then please add page numbers for direct quotes. Use academic materials, not blogs, in your RRL. And then there is a clarification on figure 2. Ano ba yung figure 2? Is this an alternative framework? Kakaiba ba siya doon sa main theoretical framework? At alin doon sa dalawa ang pipiliin ninyo? Tapos in relation to those figures, yung figure 1 and 2, how is figure 3 related to the underlying framework? So perhaps that is something you can clarify.
Yes, thank you so
Sir,
much, Dr. De La Santa. Okay, guys, do you have any answer? Or
so
do you want?
yes po. I can answer po,
Yes,
just
yes.
to share po. The figure 1 and the figure 2 po is actually, for us po, it's something that is related to each other. We just made it to po because just to improve po and just to enhance and just to further um, give basis po dun sa theory na ginamit na that we use po. It is something to improve lang po.
So yun ay sarili ninyong diagram, ibig nyo sabihin.
No po, but we search po for something that is related to each other.
Oh, so that should be explained carefully and referenced properly. Ano? Tapos, yun nga, pakirelate dun sa figure 3 dun sa inyong conceptual framework. Ano?
Okay po, thank you po.
Sorry po ma'am, ano po yan?
Hello, Doc Beth, may I?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, Doc Beth.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
I would like to ask the group clarification actually. You made mention in the paragraph, I think it's in the introduction, pertaining to, you said that none visited Fort Santiago for dark tourism purposes. Can you please explain this? Since your topic is about Fort Santiago as a dark tourism site, but there is actually a particular statement in your, I think sa introduction yun, di ko na ma-identify what particular paragraph, saying that nobody visited Fort Santiago as a for dark tourism purposes. So, how would you relate that to your main topic, Fort Santiago as a dark tourism site?
Ma'am, in that part, I would just like to clarify that we mentioned it because there are a lot of tourists who are visiting Fort Santiago mainly for educational purposes because of its historical significance and not because of its dark past. So we mentioned that most of the tourists go there
So, you just simply ask people who visited Fort Santiago on their purpose.
yes po.
So, second is Fort Santiago classified as a dark tourism site?
Yes, ma'am. It is considered as dark tourism site because
Since it is
in
part
its
of Intramuros. because Intramuros is considered.
Yes po. And Fort Santiago has dungeons po, and there are study that says they that have a lot of there are a lot of people who died in that place, around 600 people who died there.
So that could be considered actually the main purpose why you are choosing Fort Santiago to be the subject of your paper. So you can actually emphasize that, which could be the main reason why you have chosen Fort Santiago to be your subject. And I agree with Dr. Ed that if it is qualitative, you don't include hypothesis. So remember the difference between quali and quanti. If it is quali, no hypothesis, just present, or again, just like the other group, you need to revise your statement into objective or the aims of the study to suit to a qualitative paper. And also, I think you need to add the tourists, no, the main also the benefits of the study would also be for the tourists, no, visiting Fort Santiago. And then, so in your chapter 3, you made mention about thematic analysis, and that's correct, but be sure that in terms of your chapter 4, dapat talagang intensive yung discussion as to the result of your interview. How many people will be interviewed? Ilan ang tatanungin natin sa paper as a informant? Anyone?
We will we're
Yes.
going to have 20 participants po, and 10 of which will be Fort Santiago stakeholders, while the other half will be students po.
Um, why do you have to include the college students? Why not the directly if you will be interviewing only people? You mentioned that those who have already visited Port Santiago, di ba? Kasi pagka nag-selected tayo ng college students, that's suited to quanti. Why not focus only, you mentioned 20 people who visited Port Santiago? Ano purpose natin na kailangan natin isama ang college students? Especially if it is TUWA, ang layo po ng Port Santiago to Trinity University of Asia, or even students from TUWA.
Um, it is
Yes,
because
Mr. Lucero.
it is because in one of our RRLs, it is claimed that the visitors of dark tourism sites are usually college students aging 18 to 35 years old. And then to connect it to our sampling, which is convenient sampling, we thought that it would be much easier if we are going
Where will be your college students coming from?
different schools po.
Different schools. Naku, anong different schools yan? Napakahaba.
Um,
Anong school yan?
Actually po, our scope will be students from Manila City, Quezon City, and Pasay City po. For the reason that it is the nearest places around the destination.
But
And
how will you identify if these people or students already visited Port Santiago?
we will be conducting po a face-to-face interview there in Fort Santiago po.
So are you sure that these people are coming from those cities that you mentioned? Are
Yes
you
po.
um,
sure also that these are also college students? Yun nga, yun yung sinasabi ko, if you will be conducting interview from those people, so I don't think there is a need for you to emphasize college students. Kasi pag hindi college, ay hindi po pala kayo college, so hindi po kayo covered. So I think people who visited Fort Santiago will be already okay to be part of your informants. No need to emphasize if it is college. Kasi pag nilagay natin yan that you're emphasizing college, so that means you need to have a sample size. Qualitative kayo unless mag-ship kayo from quali to quanti. qualitative kayo, 'di ba? So limited lang yung number of people to be part in your even in your FGD or informants to give you a response or answers to your questions. So siguro ang suggestion ko, Doc Bet, is really focus on what would be the main or target respondents of the study rather than to include college. Kasi pag ganon, select, ang dami yan, lalo na you mentioned Pasay, Manila, Makati, whatever. So I think those people who visited Fort Santiago could be good part of your study. Okay? And then another is, and then convert yung SOP into objectives. Remove SOP number 4 because that is scientifically tested, no? That leads to your hypothesis. Ayan, no, ang daming hypo, no need for the hypothesis. Include. In the scope, ayan, no, the respondents of the study are college students residing in Manila, Quezon City, Pasay, and tour managers of Fort Santiago. Siguro na lang is uh, you have to prepare to present here the timeline for staying in Fort Santiago, asking these people. Siguro mag-identify na kayo rather than to get the college students kasi magiging quantity siya.
Okay po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Nagkamali yata tayo sa chapter 3. Nagawa na natin, parang natapos na tayo sa chapter 3. Ginawa na nating past tense. Di pa natin nagagamit. Natapos na natin ng thematic analysis. So, natapos ka agad nila wala pa yung 4 and 5. So, you change that, ha. Once na done na yung 4 and 5, that's the time na change natin yung ano. This is just proposal.
Okay po, ma'am. Sorry po.
Thank you po.
Okay. Pinasa ko yung paper nyo, alas 2 na madaling araw. Ayan, the push and pull factors, okay naman ito, except that, ayun, siguro re-rephrase or revise na lang natin yung conceptual framework based on the really the main focus of your paper. Okay, so medyo i-ano natin, i-revise ito because naka-base siya dun sa quantity ha. Okay, that's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rosas. Okay, on my part, researchers, I would like to clarify what is the need of knowing the name and the organization of your informants. The name and the organization that they belong. You mentioned that in your guided questions, right? What is the importance of putting those information in our guided questions? Do you think there will be a significant knowing their name, their school, or their organization? Anyone?
It is just for record po. But we can remove that part of the questions because I guess it's not really significant to know their names if we are only gonna get their responses po.
Okay. By the way, with regards to your SOP, because it is a must that SOP will answer our topic. Okay, then you have your guided questions, right? It's simply stating, questions which does not really answer our SOP. Okay, probably guys, we can realign our SOP or the objectives that you have with regards to motivation first. You can identify all of the questions pertaining to motivations, the one that you identify or that you put in your push and pull motivation. You can ask them on that. Okay. Then on the second part of our questions, maybe probably if you have or if you're going to saturate, different questions that might really dwell on motivation, it will be better. Then the next part, it will be on deterrent. Okay, you can ask questions. What will be the experiences that they have, the hurdles that they have, and even the problems that they might encounter, okay, with regards to dark tourism. Then the last part will be the dark tourism. Okay, supposedly that will be the way of how we could able to present our SOP. Then, if you want, there's no need to have the guide question because you're going to have, a saturate, okay, question, okay, in your SOP or in your objective, which will be parallel to your topic. Okay? Then, wag lang siyang vague, yung mga tanong. Because, of course, our informants, they could not easily answer outright. Okay? What do you think? Or what is your motivation? Do you think they can easily answer? But you could able to, to have, different question that might dwell on or that might answer on motivation. Kaya nga okay yung nandun sa conceptual po natin, you can mention that in your SOP or in your objective wherein you can ask there what will be their pull motivation, what will be their push motivation. Then at the end of the study, dun mo makikita yung mga commonality and their different ideas on the push and pull with regards to motivation. Okay, guys? Maybe we have to realign lang our topic and please try to, to make simple and easy to understand, okay, the questions. Okay, especially if they are our customers or client who will be going to Fort Santiago, we don't know what will be their qualifications or characteristics. Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any additional information, my dear panelists, Ma'am Rosas and Dr. Edisel?
I'm done, Doc Beth. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, on your time. Okay, please give us 3 minutes more or less to have our deliberation. Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much po.
Thank you so much
Thank you
po.
po.
Doc Beth, I will also lead po. Advise ko po yung mga bata eh.
Okay. Ay, it's okay, sir. You can stay as a spectator. It's okay.
Sige po, para makapag-note din ako, Doc.
Oo, oo. Yes, Ma'am Rosas and Sir Eds.
Sa akin, okay naman. It's just that I think, ma'am, i-recast natin yung title ulit. Siguro, ano bang ano to?
Yes.
Motivation. Ano ba talaga ang gusto nila? Reason of going to Fort Santiago or just simply asking people why they visit? Ano ba? Motivational factors? Ang focus ba nila? Kasi based on their SOP, push and pull pala ito. Motivation.
Siguro mga factors yun, ma'am, no?
Oo, factors na lang siguro.
No?
Factors,
Factors in choosing or visiting.
Factors in visiting Fort Santiago as a dark tourism site.
Opo.
Yun lang ano yung case study naman di ba?
Opo.
Factors in visiting Fort Santiago as a dark tourism site.
Okay. Then all of those factors na mga motivation, ipasok na kaagad nila sa ano.
Alisin na lang yung it's related to their knowledge. Wala na yun. Factors in visiting Port Santiago aside the tourism site. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Ma'am V. Okay, Sir Eds, what is your feedback po on the, can we able to accept their manuscript, their presentation?
Okay po. Ako po ay unang-una banggitin ko lang na talagang merong confusion doon sa klase ng research, ano, kung yun ba ay quantitative ang direction or qualitative. Kasi hanggang from the very beginning until the end ay medyo maraming elements na pinaghahalo-halo nila doon. So I think that's the the one question that they have to answer. Kasi even if we propose a title, yung focusing on the factors, they can be also investigated from a qualitative or a quantitative approach. Ano po? So, palagay ko yung mga student natin has to clarify ano ba yung kanilang methodological approach dito. And then make the adjustments accordingly. Although nakalinya naman po siya sa qualitative cluster, so
Yes.
I was assuming na talagang magiging qualitative sila, except that there are a lot of elements in there na wala
Yeah.
naman doon sa ibang mga manuscripts na nakita namin
Yes, yes,
na
tama.
kasama nitong cluster na ito.
Baka na-confuse lang,
Opo.
sir.
Ipagpaumanhin rin po ninyo kasi nagsimula na rin po yung isa kong meeting ay
Ah,
baka po medyo
yes, yes.
ma-delay ako sa
Yeah,
pag-respond
yeah.
doon
Yeah,
sa
it's
mga
okay, sir.
question mamaya. Thank you po.
Opo. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much po. Okay, we can give the acceptable with minor revision, Ma'am V,
Okay lang, but as mentioned by Doc Ed, is
or major,
they really
major
have to
revision.
emphasize, is it quali or quanti?
Uh,
Oo, kasi medyo tama si Doc Ed dun eh. Talagang na-mix up
yeah.
yung ano nila. Quali, quanti ba sila?
Okay.
Yun lang,
Yes.
Doc Beth. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sir Julius. Can we ask our searchers to enter in the cloud?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome back, researchers. May we request for you to open your camera? And Carl, kindly take a photo for the documentation also.
Wait lang po.
And Carl, till everyone's around na ka. Okay, Carl.
Naka-open na po ba si Doc Tudes?
Constant monitoring na si Doc Dudes eh.
Okay po. Si Ma'am Rosas po.
Ma'am
Ayun.
Rosas.
Okay po. Yan, kompleto na po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Nice. Wait lang po, isa pa po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, after the deliberation with our esteemed panelists, Dr. Rosas and Dr. De La Santa, we able to arrive with the decision of your paper will be accepted, but please try to look into, okay, the parallelism of our paper, if that will be qualitative or quantitative. But supposedly, since that you will be in the room for qualitative, we expect that the format, the different protocols, it will be aligned with the qualitative. And probably that will be also, maybe we could able to work out with the parallelism or with the format that we have. And probably that will be also part of the major revision. Okay, and with the suggestion of Dr. Rosas, we will able to change or realign your topic into factors in choosing Fort Santiago as dark tourism site. That's all. Okay? Very simple and easy to comprehend, right? If you are a researcher or if you are the reader, you know already what will be what you mean, okay, with your topic. And yeah, what was mentioned by Dr. De La Santa that we have to remove the hypothesis because it will not be part of the qualitative at the same time in your SOP, okay, the researchable problem. And we have to look into also the guided questions, which will be parallel to our SOP. Okay, maybe we have to sit down again how we can redirect what will be the comments of our panelists. But again, with all of your hardship, guys, and sleepless night, again, congratulations, everyone. But you can still, you can still improve our paper because you still have your chapter 4 and 5 next sem. Again, congratulations, everyone.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you
Congratulations.
po.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, researchers. So you can leave and start working on your paper now, for we will be calling on our next group. Bye.
Bye po.
Bye po. Thank you po
Bye
ulit.
po.
Thank you po
Thank you
ulit.
po.
Hello po. Good morning, everyone. Good morning po.
Okay, I think group three is already here. So group three, may I introduce to you your panel? First, I would like to introduce to you your panel chair. Our panel chair will be Dr. Lilibet Sabillano, and one of our panel will be an external member of your panel will be Dr. Edicer de la Santa from UPAIT, and one of our internal panel will be Dr. Maria Victoria Rosas, or also known as Dean V ng ating CBMA. So, researchers, we would like you to introduce yourself one by one, and then to the indulgence of our panelists. After their introduction, dear panelists, are we going to proceed with the Q&A already?
Yes.
Okay. So, researchers, kindly introduce yourselves. Thank you.
Yes po. So, hello again. Good morning, everyone. Here with you virtually are the researchers of the study entitled Exploratory Study on the Challenges that Food App Riders Encounter as a Result of Fake Booking. By the way, I'm Paula Mariel B. Cambe.
I'm Maris G. Agbada. I'm Alexandria Victoria L. Jimenez.
I'm Aldrey Charles Manarang.
And I'm Jermaine Janica T. Manuel. Once again, good morning.
So, dear panel, are we going to start with the Q&A?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to start with the question. Okay, by the way, what will be or what was your experience? Why you able to have this topic about the food apps rider wherein it will be resulted into a scam? Have you able to experience this kind of problem?
Ma'am, no, we haven't experienced fake booking, but we noticed that during the pandemic when the food delivery apps has proven to be extremely useful. We noticed that aside from giving us their convenience, they also experience a lot of challenges. They've experienced scams, pranks, and fake bookings. That's why we really wanted to do this research to know what are the effects, what is the nature of fake booking, and what are the challenges that they have encountered.
Um, um, Furthermore, we want to conduct this research since we know that there have already been numerous news articles regarding fake booking, not only on website but also on social media. So we know that by conducting this research, we can develop and conceptualize a more understanding view of food delivery services that can help avoid this form of fake booking in the future po, as well as to supplement the extent implemented by food app companies that can benefit for riders and also to protect customers po.
Okay, what else? Is there any ideas coming from the group?
We also may I add to my research members. We also noticed that uh, if this problem is not addressed, more it is more important that we must inform the food app companies and the users that are using the food uh, app applications that there are effects of fake booking incidents to the riders, so that based on the results of their study, we will be able to help them and improve the service more.
Okay, do you have a data that shows that there will be a number of scam, okay, customers during this pandemic? Do you have any data to shows that will supplement your claim about your topic?
Ano po, we actually there's no data exactly about, like for example, the percentage of it. However, there are a lot of news and there are a lot of news po in news article po that been reportedly that there are a lot of numerous fake booking, especially in Metro Manila.
Okay. Okay, probably guys, it will be better if you can also put that in the introduction wherein it will stand your topic because you're able to give us an idea what will be the percentage, what will be the number so that we able to know that this particular topic is really a problem that we have to trash out and we have to address, okay, by doing your paper, right? Okay, with regards to your topic, guys, your topic is all about exploratory. What is the difference of the exploratory study with the phenomenological and at the same time with with the historical study? Why did you choose exploratory? And what will be the characteristics or the special characteristics of the exploratory study that will, get the full, okay, or the good idea or the good result of your study? Why not phenomenological? Why not a certain, type of other qualitative study?
Ma'am, in our chapter 3, we chose the phenomenological method to understand the first person point of view of the riders, because we seek the first hand experiences and the challenges that food app riders experience. So we have stated, we have named our research exploratory because it explores and identifies the different challenges of food app riders.
Okay, you mentioned about phenomenological study. Why not pheno in your paper? The phenomenological study of food apps rider. Why not the pheno? Why you have to use the exploratory? since that it was mentioned in your chapter 3, the pheno.
Ma'am,
Yes po.
Can I answer po? I
Yes, yes.
we choose po the exploratory instead of the phenomenology in the title po, since we noticed that there are just um, few articles po about challenges of the food riders in terms po of fake booking po, and we learned that, but when doing exploratory research po, it means that we are doing it by digging more information po to supplement a gap po of knowledge on the internet.
Okay, because guys, if you will be, since that you mentioned naman in chapter 3, the pheno, okay, and we want to look into the experience, right, of our food riders ba? They're the one who will be being interviewed, okay, in your paper. Okay, if we are trying to look into the pheno, di ba, we have to go through with the process of, even the, happy moments, the saddest moment, it will be part. Okay. And of course, that will be also the questions that might be part of our objectives or in our statement. Okay. Right? Okay? Try to look into, or not only exploring something, but you have to dig down deeper of the experiences of our food riders on how they can handle the spam, how they handle the different, weather condition, once that they will able to deliver food, all of um the things or all of the happenings of being a food rider. It will be part of the what of that particular questions that we can ask. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, Ma'am V and Sir Edisir. Ma'am V.
Hello, yes, good morning. Uh, so I also agree with Doc Beth regarding the inconsistency on identifying the research design. Is it exploratory or phenomenological? As you mentioned in your chapter 3, you have to specify which is which, okay? And since you actually, the focus is on the challenges encountered by the riders pertaining to food, the fake, ano ba to? Requests or delivery, how will you identify the food app riders or yung mga Grab, for example, encountering this problem? Paano nyo sila i-identify sa study nyo? Since it's already thousands and numbers of food riders, no, masyadong malaki. So, paano nyo i-identify yung magiging part ng inyong study?
So the participants of the study po we will use selective sampling, and we will only get food app riders with 3 years of experience considering the pre-pandemic, uh, and who have personally experienced fake booking. So we uh, specified that we will only get the participants with at least 3 years of experience so that we could um, generally get the whole experience of being a food app rider.
Yes, but my question is, paano nyo sila, even if they have already 3-year experience, paano ma-identify kung sila ay naka-encounter ng problem pertaining to the fake, yung mga fake ano nyo, delivery?
Um,
Paano ma-identify sila na, uy, naka-encounter, nagkaroon sila ng problem regarding sa request? Yung bulk delivery fake pala, especially during pandemic, maraming ganyan mga walang magawa. So, paano nyo i-identify yung inyong participants who had this problem during pandemic?
For us po, the most convenient way po is to ask them if they have already experienced po the fake booking. And if ever they answer yes, or no, if ever they will answer yes po, we were going to ask them if they can be part of our research of this research study po. So before that po, we will going to say po all the ethical consideration po, why do we conduct this study.
Okay, so you will have this one-on-one
Yes
interview
po.
prior to. Siguro you can include that in the selection of respondents. You can include that particular process that you will do. Then maybe you can also include the FGD, the focus group discussion, which since the main focus is only on challenges, to make it more in depth, no, include also FGD to be part of your qualitative, no, and then choose. I think Doc Vet no need to place the exploratory as part of their title. They can place it either exploratory kung ano ang gusto nilang method, to include that in chapter 3 rather than to place it in the title. And then more or less how many again food app drivers? 10?
Yes
We
po.
will have 10 po.
10. So you will have 10 as the main focus of your paper. And then again, just like the other groups, no, may I suggest since this is qualitative, change your SOP into objective format. Since this is qualitative, type of research, and then scope, palagay naman. Siguro na sa scope, you just add 10 food app drivers, no? Affected by fake booking, siguro nakalagay dyan sa ating scope kasi na-identify nyo naman na 10, so ilagay na natin yung 10. Okay?
Yes po.
Oo, add na lang natin siya doon.
Yes,
Okay? Then
we already.
I also agree with Doc Beth that in the introduction, siguro maybe you can discuss or explain the current, no, or those ano yung basis nyo of having this fake news or fake booking. Uh, Siguro you can add kung merong magagawa to strengthen the introduction pertaining to the challenges encountered by the food app drivers during COVID-19 para yung research gap no can be mentioned also kung bakit ito yung ginagawa nating study. Theoretical. Then the conceptual siguro is kasi nag-ano kayo sa fake booking, specifically coping with the handling, managing the services. So, terms. Yun na yung sa research design, please revisit and check which is the best, no, for your paper, phenomenology, type of research or exploratory. NCR will be the structure, data, thematic analysis. So, yun lang. Once the statement of the problem, no, na-review natin, please check its consistency with your conceptual framework. So far, that's it, Doc Beth.
Thank you, Doc V. Thank you for the very substantial, okay, comment for the betterment on the paper of our researchers. And we can ask Dr. De La Santa. You have any comments, sir?
Okay po. Magandang umaga po ulit. sa ating mga estudyante nandito. Um, build up build on lang po ako dun sa binanggit ni Ma'am Rosas, pati na rin yung binanggit ni Ma'am Sabiliano tungkol doon sa pag clarify ng objective ng ating study. Uh, pero ang gusto ko pong sabihin dito ay why limit the scope to fake bookings? Kung ito po ay phenomenology, then we are looking at experiences nga, no? So at saka yung essence noong phenomenon nung food rider experience. So probably pwedeng ma-explore yung full experience without necessarily limiting the concern to fake bookings. Kasi kung fake bookings ang magiging focus, then it really has to be established yung merit of looking at the fake booking, no? So some statistics perhaps might have to be shown gaano ba kalaki yung fake booking as a percentage of the total bookings, ganyan. Yung bang experience doon ay malaking bahagi or maliit na bahagi nung total experience nung rider app. So, in other words, you will have to provide a strong justification for looking at fake booking. So, in order to siguro prevent that, no, from doing, kasi baka mahirapan din kayong humingi ng information, no? Kasi anecdotal lang yung nakikita natin yung mga nilagay ninyo doon sa RRL, then perhaps the totality of the experience of the food rider can be the subject of the phenomenological or exploratory study. Ganon. And then yung objective din na tungkol doon sa pag-limit or pag-narrow down doon sa financial, time schedule, overall experience, to me, parang this suggests an evaluation of the effectiveness and the efficiency of the performance of the rider experience, not really the experience of the 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 rider, ano? So, baka pwede niyong isiping maigi kung ano yung yung direksyon talaga na gusto ninyong puntahan dito sa inyong research. Ano? So yun lang yung aking main na nakita. Of course, doon sa related part of doon sa ibang mga parts katulad din nung sa ibang mga grupo siguro ay please improve the writing, the referencing, okay? Follow the standards that's being implemented by the school. If it's APA, then uh, be sure na tama yung pagkakasulat. And then, please use the correct tense, ganyan. And at the end, sa ethical considerations, please add um, parang an information sheet and a consent form. Okay? Yun lang po, Ma'am Lilibet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. De La Santa. Thank you so much, researchers. Maybe we can leave from our cloud, then give us 3 minutes to have the deliberation. Thank you.
Okay, researchers, be back 10:03, please.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Hello, Ma'am V.
Opo. Tama
Your
po si Doc Ed, ma'am. Siguro, do not limit nga doon sa fake booking.
yeah.
Instead, siguro challenges encountered of food app drivers during COVID-19 since qualitative naman. So, si Doc Ed, so focus na lang siguro, it's not on the fake booking. Yun nga, isa pa, hindi pa nila na-establish kung meron ba silang, data to support yung minention mo kanina, Doc Ed. Siguro
Yes.
all the challenges during the COVID-19 siguro.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, by the way, ma'am, we can give the accepted with minor, major revision.
Siguro pareho nung second, anong previous ma'am,
May,
yung kakatapos lang is
major.
first
Okay.
establish muna nila is it exploratory or ano, siguro wag na
Okay.
lang nilang i-mention because if they use this, masyadong ano to, di ba?
Parang there will be no ano na interest eh, no? Kasi we
Oo.
already know that that will be an exploratory.
Yes, oo, oo. So, no need na siguro din i-place yung exploratory doon sa paper,
Mm,
ma'am.
mm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Ma'am B. How about Sir Eds? It will be accepted but major revision.
Opo, opo.
Okay. Yeah, thank
Okay
you,
po yun
sir.
sa
Thank
akin.
you so much po.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Okay, Sir Julius, can we ask the researchers to enter again in our cloud?
Yes, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Apo. Good morning once again, researchers. May we request, guys, that you open your camera before our panelists would give their work. We'd like to have a photo opportunity for the documentation of our activity today. Pau, will you do the honor o si Maris taking the picture?
Sir,
Ikaw na, anak. Pau, kindly.
yes
Ay,
po.
nawala si Pau. Thank you, Doc Eds. Thank you, Ding V. Pau, can you open your camera for a photo opportunity for documentation purposes, please? Maris, tell us when.
Okay po. So,
Pau? Iwan na natin si Pau.
May internet problem daw po siya.
Okay. Thank you, researchers. Thank you on the presentation. And we are very grateful to come up your topic. And of course, with the collaboration with your advisor. And with the decision of the group or with the panelists, we decide to give the group accepted with major revision. And kindly look into, if you really want to go on with the exploratory, the phenomenological, and of course, we have to incorporate all of the comments made by our panelists, Dr. Rosas and Dr. De La Santa. With regards to the FGD, you have to incorporate the congruency, and of course, what will be then the direction of your paper. And of course, don't delimit also the result of our study, not only on the fake bookings, but at the same time, maybe we could able, or according to our panelists, that you have to remove the fake booking, but you have to focus on the challenges during the pandemic. Okay, whatever challenges that they might have, it will be part of your study. Okay, since that you don't have a substantial data or information on how many or what will be the percentage who are in the, that they experience about the scam booking. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and congratulations again.
Thank you po.
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank
po.
you po.
Thank you po.
Okay, Doc Bet, I called for the next group na po.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
Apo. Good morning, researchers.
Good morning,
Are we,
sir.
are we
Good
complete?
morning, Pan.
Yeah,
Yes.
we still have Mire, right? Okay, researchers, kindly open your camera first so that we can take a photo of for our documentation purposes. Dean V, Doc Eddie Sir, Your camera, please. Okay, guys, who would like to take the photo?
Sir, ako na lang po.
Okay, Terry, please do the honor of taking our picture. We'll wait for Dean V. Cherry, tell us when to smile.
Okay po. Ready na po ba?
Ayan, okay na. Game.
Okay po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po.
Okay, researchers, good morning. I would like to introduce to you your panelists. First, I would like to introduce to you your panel chair. She's no other than Dr. Lilibet Sabillano, our very own CHTM faculty. Together with her is our Dean from the College of Business Management and Accountancy, Dr. V. Rosas. And our invited external panelists will be Dr. Edicer de la Santa of the UPAID. Doc Bet.
Okay, good morning everyone. How are you? How are you researchers? Did you sleep well last night?
Yes
How are you?
po.
How
Good
are
morning
you?
po.
Okay, good morning. Okay, your topic is all about the hindrances and deterrence, right? The effects of COVID-19 travel with regards to motivation, right? Okay, I would like to start with what is the difference between hindrances and the deterrence?
For me po, the difference between the hindrance and deterrence. Hindrance is what uh it the situation that been making the tourists make giving us a reason to wait.
Ma'am, sorry. Deterrences refers to discouraging all the travelers and tourists by not allowing them to their flights or trip because the pandemic is still actively spreading worldwide. Why hindrance po the disadvantage for all tourists who are unable to go because of the pandemic, threat is that they will be forced to remain at home while the virus is spreading.
Okay, how about others? What is your idea? Why there will be two variables between the hindrances and the deterrence will be part of your topic? It means that in a layman's term, the hindrances and the deterrence, it will be a negative, right? A negative, okay? A variable or a negative, that might be linked to your topic. That's why it might be the effect. Okay, it might be the effect. That's why probably there's no need to put the hindrances and the what deterrent because it will flow accordingly or it might be incorporated in the effects, okay, of our paper, right? Okay, what will be then the research methodology that you're going to use in doing this kind of paper?
So for our research methodology, ma'am, we're using our research design is case study under qualitative approach. And
Okay,
then,
case study.
yes, ma'am. And then for our research instrument, we will use online interview. We will interview our participants about the questions about the questions that we have prepared for our topic.
Okay, by the way, why case study?
We
Why
chose
not exploratory? Why not the anthropology? Why not the phenomenological? What is the special characteristic of the case study? Why you choose this type of methodology or research design?
because case study design is an appropriate research when you want to know or gain concrete or contextual knowledge about a specific subject. It will, in case study design, it will allow you to explore the key characteristic of your participants in the said case po of
Is
the
that
topic.
exploring? Is that exploring, not a case study? Design?
Mm, you will it is about knowing the perspective of the participants you're going to interview, ma'am. So it's like when they share it, you'll get to know, you'll gain knowledge about their perspective.
Okay. By the way, who will be your informants or your participants in your paper?
Ma'am, the participants of our paper would be the residents here in Metro Manila.
Residents?
Yes.
What will be their qualification to be part of your study?
The qualifications of our respondents should be ages from 19 to 30 po.
19 to 30. It
Yes.
means that they are traveling.
Yes po, traveling during the pandemic po.
In what particular destination? The parameter of the place that they want to travel. Is that locally, city, domestic, international?
Domestic po.
Domestic, it means that you will use air, transpo. You will
Yes, ma'am.
use land. Okay? It means
Yes.
that it might be overnight or longer. Okay, stay in that destination. Right? Okay. And do you think 19, okay, 19 years old, of course, we don't know what will be the reasons behind why they keep on traveling. Okay, do you think 19, you can get a good, good idea or information from them if they will be
Ma'am,
part of your study?
ma'am, for me po, I think yes, because we all know that 19 years old nowadays can travel domestic. And I think it is a good opportunity to take them as our respondents because I know that they are also have experience on traveling.
Okay. And the of course the parameter will be during, okay? During. Okay. What else? Another idea? Okay, by the way, guys, please try also to look into on how you will write your references because we are using the EPA, right? And we are already in the seventh edition. Okay, APA, wherein you have to identify the DOI, okay, of your paper or of the references or the author of that particular book that you are using. Okay, that's why we use also variety of sources like the e-resources. If you are part of the academia, you can, look into because there will be more references that will tell, about your topic. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, Ma'am V or Sir Eds.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Dr. V. Sir Eds, Dr. De La Santa. Do you have any clarification, sir?
Okay, okay po. Sige po.
Thank you, sir.
So sa ating pong group number 4, congratulations for making in this far into the semester. Konting kembot na lang at matatapos na. Nakakapunta na kayo sa susunod na semester. Okay. So, gusto ko lang sundan yung binanggit ni Ma'am Lilibeth Sabiliano tungkol doon sa uh, words na hindrances at saka deterrence. Ano? So, please elaborate on this some more, um, para mas ma-define natin yung focus, no? I would even suggest na baka pwedeng yung word na factors na lang ang tingnan, no? And then try to limit it through further siguro explanation whether the factors you're looking at are at the macro or structural level. So halimbawa yung state of the economy, ganyan, or at the more personal level. Halimbawa yung health status noong nung mga individual visitors na tinatanong ninyo, no? Part of that would be looking at yung yung uh, defining really yung objective, kasi yung effect, ginagamit niyo yung word na effect, but it is actually too vague, ano? So is it how visitors, yung effect on travelers pa lang, it is very vague, ano? Is it how they got sick, how they got stuck, or how their travel how their travel plans were postponed? So um paki-explain ng mas maigi kung ano yung objective na gusto niyo, and then if it's related to motivation, then make the direct connection to motivation. Okay? And then um yung RRL, or if I can comment on how you wrote it. I think yung paggamit ng COVID-19 at saka yung COVID-19 antigen test at saka yung mga related terms, I think that's too specific as an organizing term, no? It might be better to use a broader term like, for example, health protocols, no? Para mas encompassing, mas marami kayong mailagay na interrelated, kasi kung masyadong narrow, mahirap ding mag source ng materials. Okay? And then yung conceptual framework, um, I think it is not oriented towards the research question, no, na nakalagay doon. Is not oriented towards the investigation implied by the diagram. So again, this goes back to the objectives, and so if you can relate the framework with the objective more closely, then that would be very good. And then yung binanggit din kanina ni Ma'am Sabiliano, yung case study, no? Kailangan ay ma-define nyo more clearly yung boundaries ng case, okay? In terms of some parameters like geography, yung participants, and what they bring into the case, no? So in other words, there has to be a strong justification why it should be a case study and not another approach. Okay po. And then siguro lastly, please provide more updated information when you revise your draft, kasi maraming mga dates na binanggit doon sa proposal. For example, binabanggit doon kung kailan matatapos yung lockdown, ganyan. Meron na rin tayong mga updated information about that, no? So paki-incorporate nyo lang yung mga updates na yon. Okay po. So yan lang. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Lilibet.
Thank you so much, Sir De La Santa. We can ask Ma'am V. Are you already available, Ma'am V?
Hello, Doc Beth. Sorry po ha, meron
Yeah,
lang.
no worries, ma'am.
Ako din, I agree with yung specific focus lang ng mga bata on the pertaining to the teka lang ha, regarding the travel, yung mga cause and effect. So, medyo it's really difficult if you place cause and effect, parang leading to quantity yan. So, if it is qualitative, I think maybe siguro yung Hindrances na lang siguro, ma'am. Parang yung isa is on the challenges, parang similar din rather than to place the cause and effect. Kasi mag-aano sila dyan eh. Plus yung kanilang, I think they even presented in their paper about the conceptual framework. It shows it's more of the quanti, not the quali. So yun lang pinaka-major ano ko dun, ma'am, that they have really to specify and focus more on the qualitative part rather than quanti. Kasi yung makita mo yung framework nila, ma'am, more on the quanti. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am V and Dr. De La Santa. Okay, guys, researchers, maybe we can give our panelists to deliberate at least 3 minutes. Then please come back. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay po, ma'am.
Ma'am, what time po sila babalik?
After 3 minutes lang, sir.
Okay, researchers be back 10:25 please.
Oo. Okay, if we notice, ma'am, there will be more, okay, suggestions for the betterment of the paper, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
De La
Opo.
Santa and Ma'am V.
Yes,
Okay,
opo. Mukhang kailangan
and
natin lang i-recast yung ano nila.
opo,
Cause
opo.
and effect, tas pati yung conceptual framework nila.
Mm-mm. Very simple yung topic, pero once that you go through along with the documentation, parang hindi na siya nag-realign, okay, with the topic and of course with the qualitative, okay, research that they want to really look into. Okay? Probably, ma'am, it will be the same. It will be accepted,
Yes, ma'am.
but
Yes, ma'am.
it will be a major revision. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our dear panelists po. Thank you. Sir Julius, can we
Yes po,
ask
Doc
you
Ben.
to
Po.
enter again?
Message sent na po, Doc. Okay, once again, researchers, kindly open your cameras, please.
Sir Eds, can we have another photo? Sir?
Cherry, one more,
Okay.
before you get to
Yes.
hear the verdict of your panelists.
Sir, ma'am, Mire po got lost her connection daw.
Yeah, it's
So
okay.
she can't join the meeting anymore.
Cherry, are you going to take the picture?
Yes po, sir. Wait lang po namin si Ryan.
In and out.
Yeah, it will be okay.
Pwede na po.
Yeah, oo, Carlo. will not
Nagkaroon
be
lang po
able
ng
to-
problem sa camera ni Ryan. Pero ready na po.
Sige po.
One, two. Okay na po.
Okay, thank you so much, researchers. Okay, with all of the effort and even your commitment in really, coming up from your chapters 1 up to 3, congratulations. And the panelists decided to give you a remarks on accepted with major revision. And please try to look into, yeah, congratulations. Please try to look into our drawing board, and that will be our topic. Okay, based on the suggestions of Dr. Rosas, maybe you can look into the hindrances without any deterrence. But with the comments of Dr. De La Santa, maybe you can work into on the motivations or the factors. Okay, it means that it's still on the part of our researchers. Which among of the comments made by our panelists that you have to work out with the approval of your advisor. And please also look into the, which or what will be the parameter then of our case study if we want to use the case study. And of course, according to Dr. De La Santa, you also have to look into the health protocol, the health status, even the parallelism of your framework and your objectives of your study. Then please try to really align your paper into qualitative type of research. Okay, congratulations and have a blessed morning, everyone.
Thank you
Thank you
po.
po.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
po, ma'am.
researchers,
Thank you
we
po, sir.
receive.
Thank you po,
Thank
panel.
you po.
Okay, Doc Bet, I'll call on the next group na po.
Yes, sir, please.
Good morning, Gerald. Good morning, Lovely. Good morning, Pat. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Kindly open your camera, please. And we're still
Good
awaiting
morning,
for
sir.
one more, right? Yeah.
No, sir. Kami lang po, sir.
Tatlo.
There are
Tatlo.
four, right?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Katabay. Miss Katabay? Is this Mr. or Miss Katabay?
Miss
Si, si,
Katabay
si
po.
Miss Ryan. Opo. Hey, Gerald, for how long are we going to wait for Brian?
Sir, 1 minute lang po.
Okay, a minute. Sige. So, as we await for Brian, researchers, kindly open your camera. I would like to introduce to you your panelists for today. So, first, your panel chair, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Lilibet Sabillano, our very own CHTM faculty, will be the chair of the panelists. Together with her will be one of our internal panelists, and that's Dr. Maria Victoria Rosas, also known as Dean V from the College of Business Management and Accountancy, and our external panel will be Dr. Edicer de la Santa from the University of the Philippines, AIT, or the Asian Institute of Tourism. So, researchers, I would like you to one by one introduce yourselves, and we encourage you to speak in English if you may. You may go. Researchers, introduce yourselves, please.
Good day to our panelists. My name is Gerard Oreas. I'm from 3201, and I'm with my co-researcher.
I'm Brian A. Katabay. I'm Patricia Madriaga.
And I'm Lovely Ligutan.
And for our topic is cruise employee reduction strategy in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay, with the indulgence of our panelists, would you like to proceed with the Q&A?
Yeah, Sir Julius.
Okay, with that, researchers will start with our Q&A. Doc Bet.
Okay, I would like to start first. Okay, good morning, researchers. How's everyone? How are you? Are you feel nervous? You will be the
Yes.
last group. You will be the last group. Okay? Um, with regards to your topic, okay, how did you arrive with your topic? How did you arrive with the conceptualization of your topic? Why cruise? Okay, employees.
Okay, ma'am. First thing, ma'am, my brother is a captain in the Qatar. She worked there as a captain, and in the pandemic, I experienced that he's been in COVID, he experienced COVID, and a lot of his coworkers leave leave the Qatar and do things in the Philippines, their own things. And they decided not to come back because of the COVID-19. And that's why we proceed in this study because we want to know what this kind of strategy that they are doing in the cruise industry po.
Okay, during the pandemic, with regards to the health protocol, right, with the cleanliness, with the mise en place, all of this will be part. Okay? What else?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
even the emergency, mga response. Okay? What else?
And
Another
for the
ideas?
rules and regulations
We
po, ma'am,
also
the
want to
assessment.
know the we also want to know the experience of the cruise liners when it comes to the risk reduction strategies and their preventive measures in the employees. And with conducting this research, we see the importance of cruise industry when it comes to tourism sector and how this cruise line industry help their employees in the wages and their way of living.
And we
In
also
addition, and we also know that the pandemic is a trap and they impacted a lot of tourism businesses, but also the employees, particularly cruise industries and hospitality department.
in addition, ma'am, uh, I see that not only airline affect the pandemic, but also we want to know what strategy are doing in the inside the cruise line, ma'am, especially the employees, ma'am, because ma'am, after a year we will graduate and we will work in cruise and some in the airline, ma'am, and we want to know that what will be what will be our facing problem, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, what do you think would be the hindrance of your topic? What will be the challenges of your topic? By doing your topic, what do you think? Since that your respondents are cruise liner, what do you think would be your problems then by doing the full-blown thesis?
Okay,
Do you
ma'am.
think after next sem or the following sem, you will able to get the right people who will be part of your study? Do you think you have a contact with them wherein we can get the appropriate respondents who will we will conduct interview? Do you think we will have an enough number of informants to be part of our study just to saturate what will be the type of risk reduction that you want to come up in your study, guys?
Okay, ma'am. As I said before, ma'am, my brother is a captain and he's still working there. Um, we will get the information as the help of my brother to us assistant to his co-workers, and also Patricia has also some relatives that we can also ask, and Lovely Likutan also asking for some help of his friends. Also, that's also Katabay do, and I hope that the research will go further as we want to.
Okay. Since that you have relatives, okay, which they can help you in, of looking into the different informants. By the way, what is the characteristic of narrative study? Why did you choose narrative? study?
We use the narrative in conducting the research because their answer based on their own experience, and it will be easier for us to understand what they are trying to deliver. Yes, that's all.
In addition, ma'am, it helps the narrative research to us because our interviews they sharing their personal experiences in especially in cruise line, ma'am, this pandemic, so that they it easy to us to understand what they are coping now happening inside the cruise line as of now, ma'am.
Okay, do you think that the narrative it will be a way of capturing the information of our informants? But do you think that it will be good or better that you can have the qualitative, but since that you mentioned that you just only asking based on the question and you can get the right answer coming from them. Okay, it means na ano ang special na paggamit ng narrative? If you are just only looking into the, getting the question, then the answer coming from our respondents or from our informants. Ano ang special ng narrative? Why not into qualitative, into pheno, into, exploratory and other different design in the qualitative? Anong meron sa narrative? Kung if you mention you just only get the right answer, 'di ba? Based on the questions that you mentioned in the interview guide. Ano ang special sa narrative? Researchers.
It can be their experience in the cruise lines. We can help us to elaborate their experiences or their own experiences in interviewing them.
It means that um, if your objective will be looking into the experiences, okay, of those who will be working in the cruise line, supposedly you can ask on that, but I think you're able to fail to identify that in our objectives or in our SOP. Okay, if that will be your track or your direction in your study. But if you notice in your SOP, you just only look into the factors, the different types of risk reduction, but you did not really looking into the experiences of our informants. Okay, maybe we have to, convene with the members of the group which among or what should be the variables that we have to look into just to address our topic. Okay, researchers. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ma'am V and Sir Edisir.
Thank you, Doc Beth.
Thank you, Ma'am.
It seems that based on the paper nila, nabasa ko is you would like to determine the risk reduction strategies of the cruise line industry. Is that correct? Oo,
Yes
kasi,
po.
if you will check with the cruise line companies, no, I think with this pandemic, they are really prepared as far as the COVID-19 is concerned with regard to the risk reduction activities nila. Meron yan eh, in place yan eh. I don't think they don't have that. So ano yung gusto nating pag-aralan? Ano yung particular item dun sa risk reduction strategies? Kasi ang sabi niyo doon, to determine the risk reduction strategies of the cruise line. Medyo confused ako doon. Parang it seems na wala silang risk reduction strategies during pandemic. Eh, yung mga yan ang meron nga kasi remember, they have to follow the regulations, guidelines, laws provided by the government, specifically yung mga nasa cruise line kasi yung nagta-travel from one country to another. So ano yung ano, hindi ko kasi makita kung ano yung major, yes, international requirements, ganun. So ano yung really focus of your paper?
Um, yung yung nagiging strategy po namin ngayon ng mga cruise employees, ma'am. Yung strategy po nila ngayon na ginagawa ngayon inside the cruise industry, ma'am.
Strategy ng employees, 'di ba? If they are employed in one particular cruise line, the company will give them risk reduction programs specifically to mitigate the impact or the effect of COVID-19. So, ang gagawin ba natin, magsasuggest kayo ng bagong risk reduction strategies? Is that the content of your paper?
Like I want just to add something that Patricia said. Um, the employee will follow the cruise industry protocols, assessment, strategy, so that the employee can also do the right thing to not spread the COVID-19 inside the cruise ship, so that it will also help the guest and the visitor and also the
Hindi,
employee.
'di ba?
Everyone.
Given naman 'yan, whether we like it or not, we have to follow the protocol. Like for example, the basic wearing of face mask or face shield, or ngayon wala na ngang face shield. So these are basic. So ano ngayon yung risk reduction strategies na sinasabi natin? Kasi basic na yan, di ba? Kung may implemented ang policies, they have to follow for the safety of everyone. And yung sanitation purposes, yung mga ganyan, basic yan eh. Hindi natin pwedeng hindi i-follow yan. Minsan may mga nahuhuli pa nga in the past, di ba? Not wearing the face mask. So, ganun din sa cruise line. So, how much more pa yan na galing sa, lalo na kung ang passengers mo is different nationalities, the more. O yung iba matigas ang ulo, ayaw nilang mag-face mask. So, these are basic requirements na even the local or international, kailangan nating i-follow. So, ano yung risk reduction? When you say risk reduction strategies, that means you are suggesting or you would like to develop different strategies to cope up with the effect of this pandemic. Kaso, in place na siya eh. Nandiyan na yan eh. Kumbaga, yun ang gagawin nila. Lalo na pag sumakay ka ng barko, kailangan mong negative ka sa RT-PCR test or kung anumang klaseng test ang nire-require ng hindi ka pwedeng, para din sa aeroplano yun, hindi ka pwedeng sumakay. Kung ikaw, let's say, with symptoms of cough and cold, for the safety of everybody inside the craft. So, ganun din siya sa cruise line. So, ano yung difference or what is really the main focus of the study? You mentioned that you want to know the experiences of the cruise liners when it comes to risk reduction. Baka ang gusto natin is simply knowing the siguro is the assessment on the risk reduction strategies during the COVID-19, not to determine what risk reduction strategy that you will develop. Kasi yun yung nasa unan yung ano eh, aim to determine and describe the risk reduction strategies. So siguro is uh, uh, assessing the implementation of the risk reduction strategies of the cruise line kung for sure naman 100% sigurong ipa-follow nila. Ano pa yung pwedeng maging research gap of your study? Kung i-determine lang natin kung pina-follow nila or hindi. Pagka hindi nila pinalo, syempre walang sasakay dyan. Tama ba ako? Kapag medyo mataas ang COVID-19 cases niya, nobody will dare to take, 'di ba? So ano yung research gap ng study na in the previous studies na pwedeng yung gawin? despite that only few know about cruise line. Pero, as to the risk reduction, hindi ko makuha yung focus eh.
Yung sa research po kasi namin, ma'am, is about na yung employees po na naging risk po nila nung COVID-19 and as of now, tapos ano po yung naging possible na naging strategy nila na ginawa inside the cruise industry po, ma'am.
Pero if
Especially
ayun
po
nga,
employees.
I understand. Pero 'di ba meron ng in place ang policies and regulations on risk reduction strategies 'yan ng cruise line for their employees. So kung halimbawa ikaw, empleyado ka, nagka-COVID ka, may automatic may strategy na yung mga ano diyan na for you not to uh, yung mga kasamahan mo be contaminated by virus. So basically there are a lot. So kailangan bago ka sumakay is vaccinated ka and everything. So yung risk reduction na sinasabi, hindi ko siya talaga makunik kung ano yung risk reduction na sinasabi nyo. Implementing assessing the implementation of the risk reduction strategy of the cruise line or yung risk reduction dahil naapektuhan ito ng COVID.
Yung yung ibig sabihin po kasi ng risk reduction po namin, ma'am, is yung parang hindi, that's not parang ano, ma'am, yung nawalan po ng trabaho. Yun po yung naging risk po kasi nila ng mga
Eh,
employees po nawalan.
are you sure? Are you aware of risk reduction strategies you're talking about? Kasi parang sinasabi mo lang yung effect nung risk, siyempre majority yun, nawalan. Pero as to the word risk reduction, that's, masyadong vague yun. Ito yung hindi ko kasi nakuha dun sa study nyo or I do not know kung ano pero based on your last dito sa paragraph nyo, you mentioned that o risk reduction strategy is the most common strategy to
It
lessen
can be po
or
a
to reduce the
perception
risk.
around the
Diba?
crew's choices that step po in their
Ito
future
yung
po.
ito yung countermeasures ng uh, ito yung countermeasures used by the cruise line to lessen the siguro negative effects. Pero yun yung sinasabi ko in place na ano ba yun. Hindi ko siya talaga pick up dun sa paper nyo. What do you mean by that? Yun lang. Doc Beth, yun lang ang ano ko is the risk reduction strategies that they would like to do in their study. Yun ang medyo vague sa akin. Thank you.
Yeah, that will be also my predicament, Ma'am V, because there will be no gap at all if we are trying to look into the risk reduction implemented by the cruise line, especially international, because they will not able to have the embark, okay, with other country once that they did not follow the international requirements and accreditation with regards to COVID-19. They have a very strict implementation and policy with regards on that. That's why, according to Ma'am V, what will be then? You know, what is the gap then? Or what will be the problems that you want to look into? Okay? By doing all of those policy, ano pang ibang gagawin nyo as a researcher to identify the factors or the types of risk reduction for the cruise liner? Yun po. Okay? Yeah, maybe guys, kindly, look into, kindly have a brainstorming with with the rest of the members at the same time with our advisor. Okay, or maybe we can look for another variables that might be prevalent in the cruise line industry, which can be also part of the risk reduction na ibang aspect siya or ibang approach. Yeah, thank you so much, Doc Rosas. May we can ask, or maybe ask Sir Editor to have comments or any clarifications.
Opo. So magandang umaga po ulit sa ating mga nandirito ngayon. Magandang umaga mga estudyante. Marami nang nabanggit doon sa conflation ng objective, ano, yung focus on the cruise liner at saka yung sa employees, ano. So konti na lang ang sasabihin ko diyan. Siguro mamaya-maya. Pero at this point gusto kong banggitin lang yung need to strive for better writing, no? Um, uh, try your best to achieve unity in paragraph composition, ano? Ibig sabihin, one main idea, one paragraph. Kasi for example, doon sa paragraph 1 page 2, ang dami-daming ideya doon. So it's confusing ano yung sinasabi ng paragraph na yon. And then if you can please follow standards of referencing to avoid charges of plagiarism, ano? Kasi tiningnan ko yung ibang mga sentences ninyo doon sa review of related literature, and I verified na some of them were copied verbatim from the internet without citing sources. So please cite your sources carefully, ano, and generously para walang problema doon sa aspeto na yon. And then try to organize your RRL thematically kasi wala akong mga nakitang headings doon, ano, so it was kind of difficult to keep track of the flow of the discussion. So maglagay kayo ng heading or subheading, but ensure that the entire review is integrated. Okay? Tungkol naman, may missing part pala, ano? Wala akong nakitang parang suggested conceptual framework dito, or conceptual or analytical framework na inaano ninyo, ano, gusto ninyong pagtuunan ng pansin, no? So palagay ko mai-relate ninyo ito doon sa objective, ano? Kapag naayos na kung ano yung magiging direction mismo ng inyong research. And so while we're looking for some missing parts, we want you also to delete some parts that are not needed kasi merong hypothesis kayong binabanggit dito. So kung ito ay qualitative, wala namang inflation doon. And then let me just comment on narrative analysis, ano? Kasi ang isang pangalan ng narrative, iba pang term for that is biography, no? At ang defining feature niya ay stories as data. So perhaps with this definition, no, of narrative, you can think about the direction of your research. Perhaps you can simply focus on personal, kumbaga, strategies implemented by the employees within the constraints or limits imposed by the cruise lines and by the government. So in other words, through the stories, through the vignettes that you will hear from your contacts, yung kapatid ninyo, ganyan, you will be able to come up with stories that you could then analyze, no? For themes that relate to personal strategies, no? Or yung kung risk reduction nga ang pupuntahan yan, so personal strategies within the limits or conditions prevailing in the cruise lines, no? At saka yung mga rules ng government. Okay? Sige. So yun lang po. Thank you, Ma'am Lilibeth.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, Sir Julius, thank you so much, researchers. Probably we can ask you to leave for a while, then please come back at least 3 minutes. We can have our deliberation first. Thank you.
Okay, researchers,
Thank you so
kindly
much.
11 a.m. exactly.
Thank you,
Opo.
Okay, thank you po.
Okay, ma'am, sir.
Ako ma'am, that's my ano po is maybe we can help the student na i-redirect sila kung what is really the main focus of the study. Yun po ang aking
Okay.
medyo malabo yung ano nung on
Mm-mm.
the risk reduction strategies. I will just put all my comments doon sa ano sa Google Drive. Thank you.
Yeah, oo. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, by the way, ma'am, what will be our remarks then?
The same with the previous week
Sure.
po.
Okay, sige, ma'am. Thank you, Doc V. Okay. Sir Eddie, sir.
Ako po ay yun nga, i-clarify lang yung katulad na rin nung binanggit ninyo, yung
Mm-mm.
focus, ano? Kasi talagang very challenging yon kung cruise liner ang ano yun nila, magiging subject mismo. Kung kaya kailangan ipabati natin sa mga bata ano yung mas realistic, no, within the time period that's available for them. Okay po. So siguro revision, no,
Okay.
is in order. To what extent? Siguro susundan ko na lang si Ma'am Rosas yung binanggit niya kanina.
Yes, sir.
Thank you po.
It will be a major revision.
Opo.
Okay,
Thank you po.
accepted. Yeah,
May
thank you
mga
so much,
missing
sir.
may mga missing parts din po kasi eh.
Oo,
Oo.
oo.
Thank
Sige,
you po.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. Kay Sir Julius.
Apo. Then, ipapoto up ko po muna, Doc Bet. Hi, Gerald.
Hi po, sir.
Okay, hi, Lovely. Again, guys, kindly once again open your camera, please. And Gerald, would you mind taking the photo op? Will you mind taking our picture
Yes,
for the
yes po,
documentation
sir.
na?
Yes po,
Sige,
sir, of
ano na lang si
course.
Hi, Pat. Okay, Gerald, kindly tell us kung okay na. Dean V will have our picture po. Count na ka, count.
1, 2, 3. 1. Wait lang, again. 1, 2, 3. Yan, thank you po.
Thank you, Gerald. So,
Thank you so much.
you,
Okay,
Dr.
so,
Verdi, please.
okay, with the decisions of the panelists, based on the comments that they had a while ago, guys, and of course, researchers, please try to incorporate, their comments for the betterment and for the, realignment of your study. And at the same time, they able to identify that there are some missing gaps or parts which will be ay fugotan or important in your paper. Then look into with the stories, okay, or personal stories of our cruise liner, if that will be the direction or the goal of your study. And with the decision of the panelists, we able to arrive on the remarks on accepted but major revisions. Okay, thank you and congratulations everyone. Congratulations.
Salamat po.
Thank you
Thank you
po.
po. Thank you po.
Thank you
Congrats,
po.
researchers.
Okay, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Maria Victoria Rosas, Dr. Edisir De La Santa, and Sir Julius. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Doc.
to be part of this momentous activity for our third year students who are taking up Research One. And personally, I would like, or personally, I really learned a lot. Okay, the way you questions, the way you create questions, and the way we able to analyze the comments or the topic itself from our students. And in behalf of the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management, ma'am, we able to extend more gratitude on our part po for being part of our team. Okay, thank you so much, sir. And
Thank you,
ma'am,
ma'am.
thank you. Sir
Salamat.
Julius, do we able to ask all students ba to be in the cloud or can we ano na leave?
Perhaps, Doc Bet, we can wrap things up. Ito na po si Doc
Ayan,
Dudes.
si Sir Dudes. Sir Dudes na mag-wrap up.
Thank you very much po. Sorry po, nasa kabilang ano ako, nagmo-monitor. So thank you very much, dear panelists.
Yes po, ma'am.
Thank you, Doc.
We'll send po the email and then the appreciation, a certificate of appreciation, and then the simple token po. Thank you very much po.
The rest of the comments.
Much, Dr. Dudes. Thank you so much.
Dudes, thank you po. Researchers, thank you. You may
Thank
leave.
you, thank you.
B, salamat po.
Thank you, Doc B.
Thank you po.
Dr.
Stay
Edisir.
safe po. Stay safe sa lahat.
Thank you so much.
Salamat po, bye-bye.
Thank you po. Thank you.